guys to introduce yourself and your position on the airplane.
I'm Charlie Tillman, pilot.
I'm Glenn Mount, right scanner.
John Shower, the flight engineer.
TJ Norman, aft scanner.
Rick Garvis, crew chief, secondary flight engineer.
Don O'Brider, left scanner. David Oliver, co-pilot.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, give these guys a great hand. Let me tell you a little bit about this. You know, we're fully dependent on the CAF, and they have. I can't tell you how dependent we've been on these guys and how much help they've been to us. Not just in coming and flying the airplane, but as we went through the restoration program. Rick Garvis is he's the encyclopedia on the B-29, and we've worn his phone clear out. Kenny and TJ and I have called, and Rick has come down here on other occasions, and he's been a huge help to us. So to all the CAF team that was here, and TJ, thank you guys very much. We couldn't not have possibly done this without you. Now, I'd like to also introduce at this time Wichita Mayor Jeff Longwell.
Thank you so much. It is certainly the pleasure of myself and Councilmember Meitzner to join with you here today. They had mentioned that Fifi might have a chance to join us. I was really hoping that could happen, because then at that point you could tell it's true that the male bird is just a little more glamorous than the female bird. But no, Doc. Probably picked up a few less votes there. I'm sorry. Obviously, Doc is more than a plane. It's a symbol of Wichita's history as the air capital of the world. He's a reminder of the part of Wichita that played and continues to play events on the world stage. Doc and his fellow B-29s helped fight for our country in World War II, and he served again in non-combat roles after the war and as a training aide for 42 years after that. Today he serves again to unify our community and to demonstrate that we can come together, our visions can take flight. And this flight was 16 years in the making. So with the help of hundreds of volunteers who gave thousands of hours, I want to commend and thank all of those folks that gave so much to allow Doc to take flight again. Let's continue to work hard to keep Doc in our community. We think it's important, absolutely important to our rich history, and we want to make sure that future generations of Wichitans have an opportunity to see Doc here in Wichita, Kansas. So we hope this is the first of many flight opportunities for us to witness, and at this point I will turn it over to our esteemed Honorable Congressman Mike Pompeo. Congressman.
So before the Congressman Pompeo comes up, let me tell you something. This guy truly is a friend of Doc. As we went through this process to get ready, we needed special permission to utilize the McConnell runway, and we met some big roadblocks. And part of knocking down those roadblocks, you know, I called and talked to Jack and Jack Pelton, and Jack recruited all the power he could, and the guy who really made this happen and really had a big influence on it is Congressman Pompeo. So a true friend of Doc. Thank you.
Thank you. It is great to be here this morning. Truth of the matter is, all I did was try and get the federal government out of y'all's way. So that you could go take an amazing airplane and bring it to life here this morning. And I was proud to be a tiny part of making sure that happened. I want to thank the folks at McConnell Air Force Base here too. Between us and the folks at McConnell, we all pushed the senior people in the Air Force to say this has got to happen. It's got to happen in our town. It's got to happen on this runway. that sits between amazing assets, right? I'm staring at McConnell Air Force Base. To my north is our aviation museum. Behind it, Spirit Aerosystems. This amazing community gathers in this place today to see this really cool flight. And I have had a chance to see this move along through the years and watch all the remarkable people step in to make sure the rivets were right, to do non-destructive testing, all the things that put airplanes together. And it is truly an achievement for our community that we can be proud of for decades to come. I want to thank you all so much for doing that. Last night I was in Coldwater, Kansas, Comanche County, and I was at an auction. They were auctioning off some pigs and some heifers. And a gentleman walked up to me and introduced himself, and I asked him what he did, and he said, well, the proudest thing I ever did is that I was in the Army like you, Mike. And I said, well, that's great. He said, but I was really special in the Army. I was in the Army Air Corps in World War II. And I told him where I was going to be this morning, and it brought tears to this man's eyes. He was unaware that this was taking place not too terribly far, a couple hours from where he lives, and he was so proud to hear the story and to learn the accomplishment that you have all now achieved. Thank you all so very much for doing that. This is very special. We hope to keep Doc here in our community for an awfully long time to come. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you.
So several years ago, when Doc's Friends was formed, Jeff Turner came to me and said, I'd like for you to go meet with Tony Mazzolini, and he's going to tell you what we need to do to make this project happen. And I went and I spent biggest part of a day with Tony picking his brain, and he never told me what this was going to take. But I'll tell you what, the efforts of every volunteer and all the people here made it happen, but it was all because of the vision of that man right there. Tony, come up here, please.
Thank you all. Thank you all. This is a very exciting day, as you can imagine. We've waited a long time. And when I say a long time, the time period, or time cycle, was about 30 years to get to this point. We've gone from discovery to recovery to relocation and restoration. And today we're celebrating our first flight celebration. So I'm extremely thankful for this, to see what I considered a dream come true. But it could not have happened without the help of many volunteers. And those volunteers stretch from the Mojave Desert, who helped me move the airplane to the next town's airport, to relocating it here in Wichita, and the volunteers who put forth 16 years of restoration to make a dream come true and alive and flying today. And I am very thankful to some people that were shepherding over the project, all of our leadership, Jim Murphy, TJ Norman, Jeff Turner, and the board of Doc's Friends did an amazing job. I wanted to make sure that with life's runway running short, I wanted to leave it in the right hands, and it couldn't be left in better hands and a better location in this country. And I'm very proud of that. But they said, don't worry, Tony, we'll make sure it flies before the end of your runway, and they did. So I'm absolutely delighted. I can't express the phrase thank you enough for making this happen. The mayor was most gracious. I know he wants to donate building a new hangar for us at Mid-Continent, and I didn't want to take his money, but I'm sure that he'll want to help somehow. And Congressman Pompeo, thank you for being here. And especially a special thank you to the flight crew from the CAF who helped us out today. God bless them. We had help that you can't believe. Everything was in honor of wanting to bring this plane back to life, wanting to honor our veterans, wanting to honor the home front that helped build these airplanes. And we have a couple of the members who actually worked on the assembly line of this airplane right here in Wichita. And we're very proud of all of them. But it was the volunteers, not me, that made this happen. And thank God for that. And thank God for Doc's friends and the board who support this project and will take care of it for the future. I thank you very much.
So Tony talked about restoration and all of those things. I got news for you. On behalf of the volunteers, in about an hour, we're going to go start on recuperation. So I'd like to give the flight crew a chance. You guys have any comments, things you'd like to say? Anybody? Hey, what? How did it fly?
It flew like a good B-29.
Get out of the way. Hey, one more time, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate you sacrificing your time and experience and know-how and coming here and helping us. Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming out today. Flight number 1's in the book.